KCL, Levittown.
This is the Independence Blue Cross Bowl Session, presented by SEPTA, a weekly recap of your 2024 Phillies, broadcasting live from Chickies and Pete's. Tonight's show is brought to you by Team Toyota, BCWSA, The Capitol Grill, Independence Blue Cross, and SEPTA. Now, here are your hosts, Phillies PA announcer Dan Baker and Mickey Morandini.
Hey, everybody, how you doing?
Hi, it's Pete.
We're back here in Delaware County. This is my wife's home territory. She's a Chester girl. And I have some of our friends, I have you wonderful fans in front of us who are so kind to come to almost every one of our shows and meet celebrities like Mickey Morandini and Gene Garber. The Phillies are looking for a relief pitcher, it said. Man, I wish this guy was a couple of years younger. You should see his numbers, Gene Garber from the 70s. Multiple innings, many saves, many games, earned run average in the 2s. And we're going to have a great show tonight, but I first of all want to start by wishing my wife a happy 50th anniversary. I had two life's goals, and they were to be married to the wonderful Kathy LaSpada Baker of Chester, Pennsylvania for 50 years, and to announce Phillies baseball for 50 years. I'm there. I got them both. And next will be 60 for the Phillies. I'm at 52 now. And also, every time we come out in Delaware County, we're joined by not only great baseball players, but great basketball players. And we have the Hunter twins tonight. Art Hunter and Jim Hunter are here. And Art Hunter was all Catholic at Monsignor Bonner back in the day, in the 70s, and went on to play at St. Francis of Pennsylvania in college. He came back and then coached Monsignor Bonner to a Catholic League championship with a great center named Rodney Blake, and who went on to star at St. Joseph's. And his brother Jim was also a very good athlete and played for Bonner. And Jim went on to be a very successful businessman. In fact, he could buy and sell all of us. Jim Hunter is over here. We welcome you. And still to come, we have some of our Phillies family who lives in Delaware County. But my co-host, Mickey Morandini, does such a great job. And by the way, you look so good and sound so good on radio and TV.
Oh, thank you.
So more work is coming your way.
I hope so.
You're such a wonderful ambassador, Mickey. Ladies and gentlemen, I could go on all night with Mickey's accolades, but this is All-Star Break. Here is a former Phillies All-Star second baseman, number 12, Mickey Morandini. We had another All-Star second baseman who wore number 26, the same as our special guest tonight. Of course, I'm referring to Chase Utley, the great Chase Utley. Ladies and gentlemen, and you Bull Session fans, Phillies fans, there is only one team in Phillies history that had a better record at the All-Star break than the 2024 Phillies. It was the 1976 Phillies. And we have one of their top relief pitchers as our guest tonight, who, like Chase Utley, wore number 26, Gene Garber. Gene and his wife, Karen, live in the Elizabethtown area. They drove down this afternoon. Karen's over there with Kathy. And I also noticed walking in the wonderful MacDonald family. Jack and Adele MacDonald right over here. And with them, their great son, Ryan. At Phillies games, Ryan is my spotter. He helps me identify pinch hitters on deck, who's getting ready in the dugout to come out, who's in the bullpen warming up. He does a fabulous job, and for the most part, it's kind of anonymous. But I want to say tonight, I'm a better announcer because of this young man, and he's a great film guy too. Ryan MacDonald. There he is, right there. Now, Mickey and Gene Garber, Mickey Morandini, Gene Garber, Mickey, our co-host, Gene, our guest tonight. And Mickey, may we start out with you giving us a little bit of a first half review of the 2024 Phillies.
Yeah, that's easy. Couldn't have gone any better. Starting pitching was tremendous. Bullpen was solid. Obviously, we have a great offense. And no big injuries. We've had some, a couple of pulled muscles, some small things. Turner came back. Schwarber and Bryce came back before the All-Star break. But no major injuries, knock on wood. So I think it was a perfect first half for this team.
Thank you, Mickey. Hey, we have a trivia question for those of you in the audience. Who has the record for the longest hitting streak in Major League Baseball? Just call it out if you know it.
It's not a trick question.
It's 56 games. The Yankee Clipper, Joe DiMaggio. There was a person a couple of decades ago who was threatening that, as he was at 44 games. He helped lead the Phillies to the 1980 World Series championship. He was then number 14, Pete Rose, with the Phillies, as he was with the Reds when his 44-game hitting streak was stopped by Atlanta Braves relief pitcher Gene Garber. Gene, can you review that moment in Major League Baseball history for us? You against Pete Rose.
Well, I can, but it might take me long.
Go ahead.
Well,
your second Merlot will come if you finish that.
I'll try and really keep this short, but I had told my wife a day or so before they got into town, I'm going to end the streak, because I figured if he's not going to have any hits, it's a pretty good chance that I'm the closer. I'm going to get into that game. We'll be ahead. And so he pitched. Larry McWilliams was the first pitcher. He's a left-hander, and he started off, and the first pitch he first hit time up, he threw a ball left-handed, and Pete hits a line shot right back through the middle, and he reaches around and catches it behind his back with the glove. And so that was a bad night starting out for Pete. And so I came in the seventh inning. It was 7-3, 6-3, something like that. And a guy got on, first guy got on, and now I start every left-hander with a little slider away. and I could throw it that far outside, and if my catcher didn't move his glove, it would be a strike. Well, he decided he had seen it enough. He hit a line drive off of me, right to Bob Horner at third base, and now it's a double play. He throws to first, I get a double play. And then we scored in the bottom of the seventh and bottom of the eighth. We scored like 11 runs. We're now ahead of 10 runs, where it's 16 to 4 or something like that. And so Bobby Cox slides over and says, Gene, I said, I'm taking you out. I'm bringing so-and-so. I said, no, you're not. I said, Pete's the third hitter. I'm ending his streak. He said, I want you to pitch tomorrow night. If I need you, I want you. I said, I will start tomorrow night. I'll pitch 9 innings. But I'm finishing this game. I'm getting Pete out. And now he gets right in my face. I said, uh-oh. I'd only started playing for him like in June 15th, and this is August 1st. And he says, Garb, go get him, man. Good luck. So that's why players a lot of times love managers. If you don't have a manager that you can talk like that to and say, hey, it's important to me if you let me do it. And he did let me do it. So I was able to go out. And then I struck out the first 2 I'm now going to the mound. I'm saying, uh-oh, I'm 17 to 4. If I walk him, Pete Rose, I'm going to be a horse's rear end the rest of my life. And my knees were shaking so hard. Even my first game in the big leagues, it wasn't that bad. But I ended up good, and after I got him out, I struck him out. And it's the first time I thought I'd ever got 3 strikeouts in 1 inning. But after that game, he went in and told the press that I was pitching him like it was the 9th inning of the 7th game of the World Series. And I said, thank you. So I was happy at that.
Oh, Gene. Mickey, isn't it great to hear about baseball history?
Yeah, you don't hear the behind-the-scenes story too much. You see it on the field and how it happens and how it plays out, but you don't really see, or hear from the players the inside story. So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Well, it's pretty neat because, like, about 12 years ago, I was in spring training. They had brought me in as a guest coach because I had a good changeup, and they said, you got to teach some of these guys a changeup. Well, and I'm a farmer, so I got there at like 6:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. The only other guy that came out that early as far as the coaching staff was retired Bobby Cox. And he comes into the coach's lounge, and he says, Gene, he said, I want to say something to you. When you told me that you would pitch the next night and go 9 innings, he said, the reason I sent you back out, I knew you would do that. And he said, by the time you quit, I really knew you would have done that. And I said, that's pretty neat compliment that after all of those years that he remembered. Yeah. I didn't think he would forget either. So.
Well, even though you brought us Dick Ruthven in return, who was an important part of winning the World Series in '80, a lot of us were sad to see you go, brother.
Well, so was I.
And so Gene Garber is here tonight. I omitted somebody when I was talking about the Hunters and the McDonalds. Jim Van Koski, the founder and curator of the Sports Legends of Delaware County Museum at the Radnor Township Municipal Building. And they're going to be honoring Bo Ryan, the retired head coach of the University of Wisconsin, who's going into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame on September 13th. He was also my wife Kathy's boyfriend at Chester High School. She went out with all these great athletes, and then she married me. But Bo was a great guy, and I'm trying to think of the other Ryan. Jim, you'll have to help me. From St. James, the great running back and baseball player. Oh gosh, I'll remember it at some point. But thanks to Jim Van Koski and Barbara Van Koski, who are here tonight. Jim Van Koski is he raised money to build a statue to Marcus Hook's Mickey Vernon. a two-time American League batting champion with the Washington Senators. He raised money for a statue of Emlyn Tunnell, maybe the first African-American player in the National Football League and the first to be elected to the NFL Hall of Fame. He also, with Bo Ryan's help, raised enough money to get a gravestone for one of the greatest basketball players in Chester High School history, Emerson Baynard, whose family was very modest and were unable to afford such an honor. Jim Van Koski raised the money to honor this wonderful man and maybe the best basketball player to ever come out of Chester, Pennsylvania, who's produced many of them. Our producer, Chris Ermer, tells me it's time for our commercial break. Before we bring up Art Hunter to sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game, we pause for these messages.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. The summer of shellfish is back with all your favorites, including our sensational seafood boil, sticky lobster tails, chilled crab tacos, seasonal herb mussels, seafood pasta, and more. Full menu at chickiesandpete's.com. Plus, don't miss our incredible buy one, get one snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday. It's Summer of Shellfish only at Chickies and Pete's.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
SEPTA offers a variety of career opportunities. Our core business is transit, and with 5 modes of service, we rely on and need operators, engineers, and conductors. But it takes a host of other specialties, including mechanics, electricians, plumbers, masons, painters, carpenters, welders, and more to keep the system moving. As an employee, you will earn competitive compensation and great benefits, including medical, dental, prescription, and a pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today. That's jobs.septa.org.
We now return to the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session presented by SEPTA. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies PA announcer Dan Baker and Mickey Morandini.
How about Mickey Morandini, one of the most popular Phillies ever and one of the greatest relief pitchers in Phillies history, number 26, Gene Garber. Where is Jack Foreman? Jack, do you remember Lou Krause, Jack? Lou Krause, the bonus baby out of Chester? Went right from high school to the big leagues and threw a shutout in his first start. He's another product of Chester, PA, and a member, along with Jim Van Koski, of the Sports Legends of Delaware County Museum, hosted at the Radnor Township Municipal Building. Now, Gene Garber, you told me before tonight's show that you had a gripe with Major League Baseball. This is your forum to tell us what your gripe is. And put that mic up. We want to hear this.
Well, we're not going to be here long enough to hear all of it.
Okay. Well, let's give it a start.
But a lot of it involves today's pitching. And it also involves how much people are making. They make so much money that the stars on your team make so much money that basically you don't have enough money left to pay the rest of the players that are on the team. So there'll be you're trying to take care of the guys, the regulars that are going to play every day, and a couple of starters. But then that's it. And so what they've done is, even though a guy can throw 100 miles an hour, he can only throw 90 pitches out of that. Now, an example of this is, think of Nolan Ryan. He threw 100 miles an hour, had one of the most nasty curveballs ever was. And they got rid of him because he couldn't keep pitching 300 innings a year, striking out 300 and walking 200. So they got rid of him when he was 48 years old. Couldn't pitch anymore. Well, that shows you how much you can pitch. Ferguson, Jenkins, Tom Seaver, Gaylord Perry, Phil Niekro. You can go through.
I'll go with Steve Carlton.
Yeah,
one of your teammates.
Steve Carlton. Absolutely. So the game hasn't changed that they can't do that anymore, other than now, instead of having 9 or 10 pitchers, as a matter of fact, Oakland A's won the World Series in 73, 4, and 5. Okay? You know how many pitchers they had in that team? 8. They had 8 pitchers. 4 of them were starters. Vita Blue, Holtzman, Catfish Hunter, and
Raleigh Fingers in the pen.
He was in the pen.
Was Dennis Eckersley on that team?
Holtzman?
Holtzman was the 4th starter.
Mickey Morandini.
And from Lancaster was Jim Todd. He was sort of the backup right-hander to Raleigh all those times. But where was I going with this? That was 8 pitchers, and they won 3 straight world championships. So you don't need to have 14 pitchers, which they take today. And the problem with that is just about every single one of those 14 pitchers has had to go and get Tommy John surgery. And why? Because not that they wore them out, they don't let them pitch enough to get their arm in good shape. I just can't imagine if a reliever comes in and pitches a game, if he throws more than 15 pitches in that inning, he's checked off for the next day. That's too many. You can't have him do that. A lot of pitchers in the leagues now are getting every team has a 5-man rotation, but the team is going to try and give them an off day. They'll bring a kid from the minor leagues and start him, and push everybody, the other 5 guys back. And then if they have an off day coming up, now they're getting the 7th day. So, and if you're a sprinter, you're going to sprint once a week. Well, it's the same thing. These guys are going out and say, hey, throw 100 miles an hour. And they don't have the stamina there. They're not ready to do it. And then they got to go and get an arm replaced.
Gene, if I can interrupt for just a moment. Mickey, this is an awful lot of new stuff. I don't think you've heard it before from Gene. What is your reaction when you hear a terrific Major League Baseball pitcher express that opinion?
Oh, I completely agree with him. I mean, even when I was playing, the Schillings, the Smoltzes, the Glavins, the Maddocks, the Randy Johnsons, they wanted to, the games that they started, they wanted to finish. They wanted to finish those games. Pitchers today don't want to finish ball games. They want to get that, what do they call it, a quality start, where they go 6 innings and give up 3 runs.
They're not expected to finish.
No, and they're not expected to finish, no. But, yeah, that 100 pitch, it's been there for a long time now. I don't know who came up with it, why it's so significant. But Gene's exactly right. They don't condition themselves. The one thing I know the Braves pitching staff did, I know we're probably pressed for time, but they would throw 2 bullpens between starts. Most teams throw 1 bullpen between. The Braves, Smoltz, Maddocks, Glavin, they would throw 2 bullpens. And it doesn't mean when they threw their bullpens, they were max effort all the time. It was just corner, change up, working on their stuff, working on their craft. But they always threw 2 bullpens. Leo Mazzoni was big on that, and those guys never missed a start.
You want to know something? Who the Atlanta pitching staff, manager, pitching coach used as a teacher?
I was going to ask him the same thing.
I don't know.
This guy here.
Guy named Johnny Sane. Johnny Sane was Leo's.
Spawn and
that was
Sane
Leo's.
and Pray for Rain.
Yeah.
But Gene, you're not giving yourself credit, because I know from talking to Braves pitcher, pitching coach Leo Mazzoni, Rich Kranitz, somebody like you who has a different style than a lot of what you see today came in and helped these youngsters.
Well, I knew I wasn't going to get by throwing a fastball at people. And that's one of the things, if you look at the best pitchers today, to me, one of the best was Scherzer. Now, he just had back surgery, I think. He came up and won a Cy Young Award throwing nothing but fastballs. The next, he comes back up, and after his first Cy Young, he now throws a slider. So he wins another Cy Young, and then he comes up with a changeup and wins another Cy Young, and the changeup is what made him move. What was the Phillies left-handed pitcher here the last number of years that he just retired?
Cole Hamels.
Cole Hamels. What did he throw?
Changeup.
He threw good. He could throw 94 miles an hour, but you were a hitter. Do you want a guy's fastball at 92, 94 all the time? Or you want him to throw you a fastball at 94 and then you're going to hit his 88 changeup? No, it's a hard way to do that. And so today, the better starting pitchers are the ones, I don't know about Wheeler. Does Wheeler have a changeup? I'm going to say.
He's got like 4 or 5 different pitches.
He does.
Actually.
He has, and their speed is different.
Right. And the other thing with pitchers today, when they're max effort, their command isn't as good. And that's why you have such high pitch counts. You have pitchers throwing 4 innings and they've got 90 pitches already. The command's not there. They're not getting that first pitch, second pitch out because they don't consistently throw strikes. So that's part of the problem too.
It's a big problem. Yeah.
Now, you know what's going to happen, don't you? What you guys are saying is so impactful. They're going to take the video and sound off of the WBCB website, and you're probably going to see this on the MLB network or ESPN. Ladies and gentlemen, isn't this something, these two? Mickey Morandini and Gene Garber. And my gosh, the Hunters, the Vankoskis, the McDonalds, the Steinbackers, the Foremans, the Weissners, and our producer is Chris Ermer. Back with the second half of tonight's show after this.
Bringing in top talent is as easy as 1, 2, Key. SEPTA Key Advantage is a unique and valuable transit benefit program that gives your employees all-day, everyday access to the entire SEPTA system. That means your staff can get into the office, over to a meeting, and out for the night, seamlessly and affordably, all thanks to you. Learn how easy it is to customize a SEPTA Key Advantage program for your team at SEPTA.org/partnerprograms. That's SEPTA.org/partnerprograms.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
Hi, Paul Muller from Team Toyota of Langhorne. If you've been waiting to buy your next pre-owned vehicle due to surging used car prices, then we have some great news for you. With over 45 used cars under $20,000, we have something for every budget. Plus, with our MVP pricing guarantee, warranty forever, and free maintenance for 1 year, you can rest assured that you're getting a reliable used car at a great price. Visit us in Langhorne on Route 1 or shop online at teamlanghorne.com.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. The summer of shellfish is back. Treat yourself to our mouth-watering seafood boil with crab legs, shrimp, clams, mussels, and more. Try our calamari salad with a luscious, spicy and sweet olive dressing. Or enjoy our delightful seafood pasta featuring crab, shrimp, and penne pasta in our world-famous red or Sicilian sauce. It's the summer of shellfish, only at Chickies and Pete's.
We now return to the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session presented by SEPTA. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies PA announcer Dan Baker and Mickey Morandini.
Mickey's and my guest tonight, one of the greatest relief pitchers in Phillies history, number 26, Gene Garber. He was part of a bullpen with Tug McGraw, Ron Reed. I remember Tom Hilgendorf back there too.
Warren Brewster.
Warren Brewster. Wow. And
Wayne Twitchell was there back and forth.
Wayne Twitchell, I'll tell you, this team has a great history. You know
Eddie Watt, Pete Rickard.
Yeah, you know, there's somebody here tonight who has been here through all of those people. Adele McDonald. Adele McDonald has been with the Phillies since the early 70s, though you would never know what to look at her.
No, you wouldn't.
She looks like a beauty queen. There she is with her husband Jack and son Ryan.
26, yeah.
And,
nice to meet you.
But Adele has been with us since your time with the Phillies, as has my wife Kathy. She's another great one for Phillies history. And we hope that Art Hunter is getting ready to sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game, Art. And I want to ask you both, Mickey, starting with you, any reason to be concerned about the Phillies losing yesterday 18-3?
No, I mean, they were due for a stinker. I mean, they've been playing so well, and it was really a bullpen game. I can't stand bullpen games. A big league club that's got 4 minor league systems. I just don't understand the bullpen game. Call up someone that can start, but no, it's just a stinker of a game, and then you have to bring in, Stubbs to finish it off, and he gives up 5 or 6 runs. Just one of those days. But no, you can't ask for a better first half than we've had. I mean, we got eight players on the All-Star team, 5 pitchers, which I think is a record for All-Star game, for pitchers in All-Star games. So, they get a chance to rest up a little bit. I'm sure that 18-3 game is already out of the system.
Yeah.
We got NOLA going on Friday against a good Pirates team. They're playing a lot better. So it's a big road trip for us. I think it's a 9-game road trip, I think. I think we go to Pittsburgh, Minnesota, and maybe, Cleveland or something like that. So it's going to be a big
we have all these baseball experts. Look at your Philly schedules and give us that information.
Can I ask Mickey a question
Please,
or two here?
Gene.
Today in baseball, you hear about injuries that are happening, and one of them is a left oblique or whatever. What is that?
What is it? I don't know what muscle it is, but it's a muscle either on this side or that side. It's almost like one of the side muscles here. I don't know why there are so many of those injuries. I guess the torque from big swings and max effort pitching, I guess, is what causes it. The one thing with injuries today is they're really cautious with them. I mean, I remember pulling hamstrings and getting that sucker wrapped up tight and up around my waist and going out there and gimping it out on AstroTurf yet.
They don't do that anymore.
Yeah, and I know when Larry Christensen was with, remember, he said he had to pitch on an elbow where he couldn't even feel the ball, and he had to ice and do all this stuff to get ready to pitch. So it's a little different today.
Mickey and Gene, Larry Christensen's probably listening tonight. He, like you, Gene,
if
is
he
a
knew I was
guest
on
every
here,
year.
he might be.
Yes. And, he had another, Gene Garber, Larry Christensen had another huge back surgery just about a month and a half ago.
Okay.
And he's had to put up with a lot. But,
Like, I have another question for Mickey.
Go,
too.
please.
What is a cutter? I've been a pitcher for, a few years. I have no idea what a cutter is.
A cutter is a late breaking fastball that probably moves about that much, but it breaks late. So I remember Mariano Rivera. You know, Mariano Rivera only threw a cutter. So it's one of those pitches where
everybody tried to imitate it.
Yeah, it looks like it's right down the middle, and as you start your swing and get it to the place where you think you're going to crush the ball, it cuts in on you late. And he threw it hard. I mean, he threw a hard cutter.
Yeah, he's throwing it.
Yeah, it's fastball speed, but it just cuts a little bit in on the hands. That's why right-handers hit him better, because it went away from him and they could get the barrel on it. But lefties had a real tough time with him because it cut in on him and got jammed. But, it's a late-breaking fastball is what it is.
Gene Garber, who is the best relief pitcher you ever saw, not counting yourself?
I'd be way down the list. I get it. Mariano Rivera, he was tops.
Unanimous pick for the Baseball Hall of Fame.
And he was one of the last guys. Torrey had him for a while. Yes. He could pitch more than one inning.
Yes.
So who was let's say in the 70s, who do you think was one of the best closers in the 70s?
Riley Fingers was awful good. Yeah. It was awful good. Like I was saying, they had 8 pitchers on that staff. Riley could come in and give you a 7, 8, 9. Right. And, of course, today, if he did that, he'd have 3 days off. He would come back and pitch the next day.
So did you ever tell the manager, let's say you pitched back-to-back games, you threw 2 innings, would you ever tell the manager I can't go tomorrow?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. I think that's
absolutely not. Well, why?
Right.
I'm not getting paid to sit and watch.
Right.
Now, he's from Western Pennsylvania. He grew up a Pirates fan. And how about him? He pulled off an unassisted triple play that involved Barry Bonds. I mean, talk about you stopping Pete Rose's hit streak. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have 2. You want to get a picture of these 2 guys? Come right in. Yeah. You can sell this for $100. Go ahead. Take a pic. And if you get him to sign it, it doubles the price. Go ahead. Get a photo, please. Gene Garber, Mickey Morandini. Chris, do you want us to pause here? No, we have time. Okay, great. Because we got plenty more to discuss. And by the way, I have a Milt Thompson. Milt, like Mickey, is a Phillies baseball ambassador, and and Mark Weissner was nice enough to give this. Mark does this every show. Mark, I want to thank you. I never thank the Foremans enough, Jack and Ellen, for all that, or the Steinbackers. Sean and Tara printed out a bunch of pages on Mickey and Gene for me tonight because my wife's and my printer at home is broken. Thank you. You're so kind. And with the Phillies going to the All-Star break, now they come out of it. Mickey and Gene were in Pittsburgh. And Aaron Nola, I believe, will begin the second half. Game. And I think that the rest of the weekend will include Tyler Phillips and perhaps Christopher Sanchez. And then I think we're saving Zach Wheeler, and
Suarez.
And Ranger Suarez for the second series. What do you think of that strategy, Mickey?
Well, I think they're just giving Wheeler and Suarez extra time. I mean, they may pitch in the All-Star game, I'm not sure, but Suarez he's at his max innings-wise that he's ever pitched, so I'm sure they want to give him some extra days. Wheeler, he's our ace. I'm sure he's going to pitch in this game, at least, an inning. So they want to get him some rest. I think that's the right thing, especially when you've got a 9-game lead. You don't want to push it right now.
Mickey, tell us about your All-Star experience. You represented the Phillies in the National League in the All-Star game. What was it like for you?
Yeah, that was in '95. It was in Texas, hot as heck.
That's where they are now.
Whew, hot as heck, but it was unbelievable walking into a clubhouse with Bonds and Biggio and Bagwell and Piazza and all these superstars. Bobby Bonilla, and then Hideki Nomo was the starting pitcher of that game. And we actually won 3-2. We had 3 hits in the game, and they were all solo home runs.
Oh my goodness!
And we won 3-2. So it was a great experience. We worked out the day before and took batting practice on the field, and I got to walk around and talk to all the superstars. It was pretty cool.
Did you have a chance to bring Peg to that?
Oh yeah,
game?
And my
how many?
that was
kids?
in '95, so I had my son Jordan at the time, so they
Oh.
all went, sure. But he was only 1.5, so he doesn't remember it. But yeah, it was. We brought our families, and then after the game or I think it was after the game, they invited. There's a big amusement park there, and they reserved it for just the All-Star players. So we went into the amusement park with our families and got to ride all the rides and have a blast. It was fun.
Gene Garber, please forgive me for not knowing this because my max concentration is on Phillies records, players, all my heroes. Where do you rank on the Atlanta Braves all-time saves list?
I'm not sure. I had been for a number of years a third. And the reason they have a good reliever right now, he's wearing number 26.
Hey! Yeah.
So, no, I haven't looked. I don't know.
Didn't you represent Atlanta in the All-Star game one year?
I should have.
Yes, you should.
I'm gonna. We're close to the home too, but
yeah.
I'm not gonna bring up the name, but I had.
Please.
Okay, the manager of the Dodgers off after Walt Austin was who?
Tommy Lasorda.
Tommy Lasorda, and I beat Tommy Lasorda when he was coming up, and I was playing winter ball down the Dominican Republic. And instead of a World Series down there, you had a best-of-9 series. We played 9 games.
My goodness.
So you had to win 5. And I was able to start 3 games, and went 9 innings, and then the somebody else won. But then the 5th win, I came in and pitched a couple innings in relief. So we beat them, and after that, Tommy Lasorda did not give me any All-Star chances.
Gene, Mickey and Gene, all these years later, you are still 3rd all time in the history of the Atlanta Braves in saves, topped only by Craig Kimbrell and Hall of Famer John Smoltz. And I do believe that one day, even though I don't think Craig's the pitcher he once was,
he better be a Hall of Famer.
He's had a Hall of Fame career.
Yes, he has, absolutely.
Well,
because he's another one of those guys that you need a pitcher, he's gone. He's going to pitch for you.
Right.
I don't think that the thing I think I liked about him most as a Phillies pitcher, Mickey, I don't think they said get up, and he did.
Yeah, and he didn't. When he gave up runs, he didn't make excuses.
No. Yeah. And you certainly like that about players. It's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out. I can't believe, Mickey Morandini and Gene Garber, that Phillies Vice President of Baseball Operations, Dave Dombrowski, and General Manager Sam Fuld are going to do nothing as we approach the July 30th trade deadline. What do you...
I have a question that I would ask.
Yes.
What do you think they need to try and do to improve the club?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you that.
I think we need another late inning relief pitcher. I love number 58, Sir Anthony Dominguez. And when he's on, he can be lights out.
Yeah.
But the last couple of years, he's been off as much as he's been on.
But that's the way things are today.
Yes.
And a lot of it is usage, a lot of it is expectation.
Yeah.
The number one thing is expectation on pitchers is not very great. Yeah. Hey, go out and give me. I know I used to have a manager that would tell me in AAA, he said, hey, go out and go as hard as you can, as long as you can, and I'll find somebody else to pitch the other 8 2/3 innings.
Yeah.
You know? Now, I would laugh at him and say, don't you come after 8 2/3 and take me out either.
Yeah. I have to I am a minor official as a public address announcer. My opinion holds no weight.
Right.
And a lot of people might think that my opinion isn't very good either. But I'm reacting honestly to your question. And my sense is that the Phillies could use a little more right-handed late inning relief help.
Any team could use that.
Yes.
Any team that's they're looking into getting into the World Series, into postseason play, can use. You get one more short reliever in there. You've just maybe gained yourself another 2 or 3, 4 games.
And guess what? Yeah. We have to take our last commercial break, and when we come back, Mickey Morandini is going to tell us the right-handed relief pitcher the Phillies are looking at. Don't go away. We'll be right back with the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session.
You better give me a name.
I SEPTA Philly.
I SEPTA Philly.
I SEPTA Philly.
I take SEPTA so I never miss tip-off.
I do not have time to deal with traffic.
I don't have a car.
Do you know how expensive parking is?
I take the Broad Street line to all the games.
I ride the bus.
I ride the train and the subway.
I set my lineup when I ride.
I check Twitter, text my buddies.
I watch sports highlights or lowlights.
For real Philly fans, SEPTA is the hometown way to go. Ride with us at iseptaphilly.com.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
Hi, Paul Muller from Team Toyota of Langhorne. If you've been waiting to buy your next pre-owned vehicle due to surging used car prices, then we have some great news for you. With over 45 used cars under $20,000, we have something for every budget. Plus, with our MVP pricing guarantee, warranty forever, and free maintenance for 1 year, you can rest assured that you're getting a reliable used car at a great price. Visit us in Langhorne on Route 1 or shop online at teamlanghorne.com.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. The summer of shellfish is back. Indulge in our sweet and spicy sticky lobster tails with cilantro and lime. Enjoy Chicky and Pete's chilled crab tacos bursting with snowy white lump crab meat. Treat yourself to our mouth-watering seafood boil with crab legs, shrimp, clams, mussels, and more. Or dive into our tasty seasonal herb mussels, prepared to perfection in our delicious zesty broth. It's the summer of shellfish, only at Chickies and Pete's.
We now return to the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session presented by SEPTA. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies PA announcer Dan Baker and Mickey Morandini.
Are you ready to hear Mickey Morandini's recommendation as to whom the Phillies should acquire to strengthen their already best in the National League bullpen? Here's Mickey.
Well, Tanner Scott's the big name out there, right?
Yes.
But I'm sure there's a lot of teams that are going to be in on him. I agree with you. I think we need another bullpen piece late in the game. If you can throw another really good relief pitcher in with Alvarez and Hoffman and Strom and Severino, I mean, that's a really good bullpen.
Well,
it's already a good bullpen.
I'll give you another rumor. Michael Kopech is a hard thrower with the White Sox.
Right. So yeah, I agree with you there. Gene just mentioned to me he thinks we need another bench piece, pinch hitter. We released Merrifield. We sent Dahl down. Those were two guys off the bench.
That was a shock, wasn't it?
A little bit of a shock. I'm not sure of the reasoning behind it. I would also like to see us get a little more starting pitching depth, to be honest with you. And maybe a center fielder. So there's some pieces out there that they could go get. I don't know what the asking price is. I'm sure they're not going to want to give up any top prospects, but we'll see.
But who would you like to get? If I
had to rate them, I would go relief pitcher first.
Yeah.
I would go center fielder second.
But I mean, who among outfielders that we expect to be available?
Yeah, they're talking about the kid from White Sox, the center fielder.
Luis Robert
yeah,
Jr.?
Yeah, him.
But he's a 200 hitter right now.
Right.
And what you have to guard against is injuries.
Right.
I mean, they were very lucky in that Harper and Schwarber got hurt right before this time, and yet they came back. I thought they might hold them out through the break, but that's where if they lose a third baseman, who are you going to put in there that has Whitfield's gone?
Yeah. Well, it would have to be Sosa. Sosa would play third.
Yeah.
But then you weaken your bench even more.
He's gotten a good start, but he's still not the experienced guy that you read. And plus, it has a little bit of power.
Yeah.
Because you're losing that out of there.
Yeah.
Injuries can really make a club different quick.
That's why I think Gene and Mickey, the Phillies deserve credit, and they've had the good fortune of enjoying a decent lead in the NL East. With resting Kyle Schwarber, resting Bryce Harper, resting JT Realmuto, resting Trey Turner. There's been a number of injuries there, and I think Rob Thompson and Dave Dombrowski, I think, have done a magnificent job of trying to give these guys a little rest time in hopes of strengthening them for the stretch run and then postseason to follow.
Well, that's what every manager and general manager, that's what they've got to do is say, okay, if we have these problems, what do we do? And so you try and deal with that even before it happens, so that you can stick a replacement player in there. It doesn't matter if you're a contender, you better have a few extra guys. But see, I go back to today's game. You don't have a bench anymore. They're all young kids. They're young guys. They're only making $750 or whatever the minimum is this day.
I'll take it.
So
I'll take it too.
Yeah, but that's not a $20 million a year
guy. No,
guy.
Absolutely.
So that you've got to try, and that's why I think Merrifield is going to get picked up.
Oh, no question.
By somebody else that's there, because this guy was an all-star player last year, I think.
Yes, he was with Toronto.
I think last year he was an all-star. So it's just, it's a matter of he's not done. Not at his age. He's not done yet.
No.
And he can come in and say, man, I got a chance, and all of a sudden he's swinging the bat the way he can swing, and he plays a good defense no matter where he goes, I think.
Yeah, Gene and Mickey, Whit Merrifield reminds me a little bit of Nick Castellanos in his first year as a Philly. Mickey, do you see that correlation?
Yeah, he's a different type of player than Nick.
Different
but
type of player.
I mean, a lot of guys come here and struggle at first. I mean, it's a little hard to come here when you haven't played on the East Coast and deal with some of the fans and the pressure of winning. But it seems like the second season it all goes away. You know, Trey
Yeah.
didn't have a great year last year. He's having a tremendous year. Nick didn't have a good first year. He's having, he's been better since. So, but yeah, I just think I'm worried about starting pitching. I don't know why I'm worried about it, but Walker goes down, and then who was the one that filled in for him that got hurt too? The reliever.
Yes, Spencer Turnbull.
Turnbull gets hurt, and we don't have anybody to fill in for him. We've been throwing guys out there that have no big league experience. So that worries me a little bit. You got to cross your fingers that the big three or big four really can stay healthy for most of the second half.
Well, I look at it number one, they got Nolan Wheeler. So they got two guys that have been through this different times. The other two younger guys, they pitch a lot too. And so
Suarez and Sanchez.
As long as they're not coming injured,
right,
they're going to continue to help them.
Right.
They can pitch.
Can I ask each of you your assessment of Taijuan Walker, Mickey?
Oh, very disappointing. Very disappointing. I mean, he signed a big contract. I think it was 4 years, $80 million or something, if I'm not mistaken. And he just hasn't performed to expectations. So for me, he's been very disappointing.
Gene?
I haven't really followed him enough this year to know. But I think, again, it's sort of a 4-year contract given maybe before he earned it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's got some abilities that say, yeah, this guy is pretty good if he comes around. But
Mickey, you said that when we were talking about what do the Phillies need as a trade deadline, and one of the things that you added to outfielder and relief pitcher was maybe starting rotation.
Right.
Is there anybody in particular who you think might be available, or if they were, that you would like the Phillies to try to acquire?
I know there's a starter, and I want to say he's with the White Sox, left-handed pitcher.
Crochet?
Crochet, but he's going to be a hot commodity.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to want him. I'm going to be honest with you. Other than the Phillies, I don't follow other teams. I concentrate on the Phillies.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's starting. There's got to be a lot of starting pitching out there. Everybody's always looking to drop salary. And
here's the situation though, that if you need an extra starter, it's to get into the playoffs. If you have a Nolan, you got a Wheeler, and now you got two other guys. A lot of times you only need three.
Right.
You need three starters in the playoffs. You don't need five.
Right.
But if you're wondering whether you can get into the playoffs, what he's saying is that's a good way to go, is get yourself somebody. If you lose one, then he might be one of the top 2 or 3 in the playoffs.
Well, of course, I love the Phillies with all of my heart. I can't see a way that we don't make the playoffs, barring a complete collapse.
I agree.
But
again, that's why I'm saying I'm not sure that they need to get that starter now. Depending on if they got an injury or so, yes.
Yeah, I was just saying for depth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just for depth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out soon enough. And right now, have you enjoyed hearing Mickey Morandini and Gene Garber?
Thank you.
Next week we'll be at Parks Casino, 6 to 7 on WBCB 1490 AM and 107.3 FM. For Chris Ermer, Gene Garber, Mickey Morandini, I'm Dan Baker. Thank you for being with us at Delaware County.
You're listening to 1490 WBCB and on your FM dial at 107.